Your name, do it fast. We are already getting late. Mrs. Min shouted from downstairs, calling for her laziest daughter she could ever have. Mom, just 5 minutes more. Let me take my time. I need to look good. We are going to look for the man to be my hubby. Your name was excited to meet her soon to be husband she's never met. She just knows that he's rich, smart, good looking. She agreed for marriage just to escape from her studies, but her parents knew what's good for her. Even though she doesn't like to study, they made her complete her higher studies, but they couldn't force her for something which she doesn't want. When they asked her for marriage, she agreed in one go. So here they were going to look for the son of. Let's go, mom and dad. Am I looking pretty? She asked happily, showing her dress. Mr. and Mrs. Min nodded, smiling. Everyone settled down on their respective seats, talking and chit-chatting, but Yonne was getting bored with every passing seconds. She was here just to meet her soon-to-be hubby, but he was nowhere to be found. She also started chit-chatting with her bestie. So how it's going there? Without wasting a single second, she started typing that he wasn't even here. Get impatient, he must be on his way. Yone was about to reply when suddenly a strong manly fragrance got into her nose. Her eyes popped out of her socket when she saw him. Tall man standing in front of her with his hair pushed back in well-ironed tuxedo, a black glass covering his eyes. She was lost in the thoughts when everyone started laughing at her reaction, which bring her to the earth. So your name, this is our son Taehyung. She smiled and nodded. Hi, I'm your name. Nice to meet you. She got up from her seat to shake hands with him, which he accepted. I am Taehyung, he said, biting his lower lip in nervousness. Why don't you both go and talk to each other? Mrs. Min said. Your name and Taehyung stood up and went near the park to sit on the bench. So Tae, tell me something about yourself. Yonim asked, being a lot more excited than she should. Taehyung hesitated a bit but started talking about himself. Both of them enjoyed talking to each other. Their laughs and giggles filled the place. Tae, if you don't mind, can I ask you a thing? Taehyung happily nodded. Why are you wearing glasses now? I mean, you can take it off if you don't mind. It's already night. It's not like the brightness of my beauty will. She said and laughed at her own cringe words, making him smile along. Your name? I'm visually impaired, he said, and was about to took out his glasses, but Yonim held his hand, stopping him. But he was cut in between. I know what you want to ask. This is my father's hotel. That's the reason I know each and every corner of this place and do not face any difficulty walking here. Yurnim left with no words. She was stunned by the statement. Hearing no reply from her, Taehyung continued. See, I'll understand if you don't want to marry me anymore. No one will force you. He patted her shoulder. Let's go, Tae. It's getting late. He nodded, standing up. Yurnim held his hands and pulled him closer to her. But the next action she took was she kissed his cheek, making both of them flustered. You are very cute, Tae. I'll marry you, without any doubt. She laughed again, making him flustered. They made their way inside the hotel to their parents. We are ready for the marriage, Yunim announced, holding Taehyung's hand securely. What then? Both of the parents arranged their wedding. Min, your name. Do you take Mr. Kim Taehyung as your wedded husband? Priest asked, reading the vows. I do, your name happily announced. Kim Taehyung, do you take Miss Min, your name, as your wedded wife? Taehyung took a deep breath, trying to hold Yonim's hand, which she gladly let him hold her. I do. All the family and friends started cheering the new wedded couple. Yunim stepped closer to Taeyong and kissed his cheek, making everyone to start cheering and hooting again. Newlyweds reached their new house. It was new for Taeyong as well, so Yunim guided him inside the house. Tae, are you comfortable sharing the bed with me? She asked genuinely, not sure if Taeyong is that comfortable yet. Having fun and teasing each other was different thing, but sleeping with a person is completely different thing. She saw how Taeyong licked and bit his lower lip, not sure about his answer. Tae, it's okay. I won't mind sleeping together. We are already married. He smiled and he laid back on the bed. She tried to sleep but couldn't. She stopped. Tay, she whispered, not sure if that's good idea to disturb him. Surprisingly, he answered, turning towards her. Did I disturb your sleep? Yonem asked, to which he shook his head. Do you want to talk about something? He asked, caressing her hand. She was amazed at the gesture. How do you know I want to talk? Your name. I can't see. That doesn't mean I cannot feel. He laughed at his statement. I'm sorry, I did not mean that. I know that. Come here. He spread his arms wide to take her in his embrace. She kept her head over his chest and he wrapped his arms around her waist. Te, He hummed again, closing his eyes, loving the moment. Have you ever had any girl in your life? I mean, have you ever been into a relationship? She asked, unsure of his reply. You are the first one to be in my life, your name. I have never touched any girl like I want to touch you. Your name blushed, snuggling more closer into him. Te, I did not mean that, she said, trying to suppress her blooming smile. I know, you mean exactly the same, your name. The night was peaceful. Cold breeze coming from window made the two newlyweds embrace each other more intimately under the blanket. Te, she whispered in his neck. He replied with just his heartbeat, which was thumping crazily in his chest. She looked at his face, which showed calmness. His cheeks squeezed on the pillow, his lips were pink and plump. Te? He asked again, caressing his cheekbone. He hums in response. Can I kiss you? Her voice came out as sweet as honey. She wanted the answer to be yes. Deep down, Taeyong also wanted the same. He wanted to feel special for her. He wanted to make her feel good as well. It was their first wedding night. He knew the person in front of him must be expecting lots of things from him. So he just nodded in her affirmation. Yunin smiled. Her finger worked on his lips, caressing those soft mellows. Without wasting any further seconds, she leaned forward, claiming his lips as hers. She stayed there for a second, making him realize the new feeling. His hand went up to grab the back of her head, pulling her more closer than she already was. Yone went up and sat on his waist, again crushing her lips to his, but this time with a little urgency. She kissed his lower lips, sucking it gently, while Taeyong did the same with her upper one. Their lips moved in the perfect sync. Both of them felt the goosebumps when their tongue danced together. The moment felt euphoric to them. None of them wanted to end this, but for the sake of air, they had to break it. Yonim looked at his face, flushed, his cheeks and lips red like tomato. Te, you don't even know how beautiful you are, she said genuinely, appreciating the man in front of her, and kissed his lips soft. Taeyong smiled shyly and gestured her to lay next to him, which she gladly accepted and laid beside him, cuddling each other. They went to their dreamland.